Mr. Cut.
I'll start the recording.
Yes, thank you. Welcome everyone to the May 22nd, 2025 Monroe County Planning Board meeting. We have several votes today, minutes, and a couple applications. So let's get started. I'll call roll. Bill Santos, I'm here. Mike Wiedemer.
Here.
Sam Trapani.
Here.
Andrew Hollister. Orlando Rivera.
Here.
Dave Watson.
Here.
Millie Safranik.
Here.
Robert Colby.
Here.
Rachel Barnhart, Jeff McCann, Adrian Green, Amy Grower, Connor McMahon,
Here.
Robert Franklin, Joe Taddeo,
Here.
Richard Tantalo,
Here.
Christina Doherty, Sean Murphy,
Here.
and Andy Frazier. And Shen, if you'd like to introduce some staff.
We have for elections, David Radich and Rosemary here to answer both questions for one of the action items. We also have Josh Peterson from Law Department, always appreciate it. And I think we have a new staff from the Finance Department, Vince, join us today also.
Great.
And from the planning is myself, Isha Nin, and also our support clerk, Lisa Hongchun here. And did I miss anyone? Side cover. That's it.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for attending. The first item on the agenda was approval of the April 24th, 2025 meeting minutes. I need a motion for those, please. Thank you, Sean. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Orlando. Orlando. Any comments on those or corrections? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Are there any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Minutes are approved. Any announcements or communications from board members or staff?
I just want to share once again, last month I shared about our training, spring training, land use decision-making training program, and the registration is still open. We do only have few seats open. So if any board members are interested, please reach out to me. And it was we originally had 56 seats, but then we get overwhelming registration. So we have make a bigger room. So now we have like almost 90 seats open, and it's almost, so.
Is that for town planning boards participate in that mostly,
Yes.
or zoning board, or both?
Both.
Both.
Planning board and
Both.
zoning
Okay.
boards. And we also have a lot of like municipal staffs.
Yeah.
And besides Monroe County, we also get some other board members from the nearby counties too. We have like village from Broomfield and some of the town of Vitters, some of the town planning board members participate too.
Could you scroll down a little bit on
Yes,
the
yes,
session description? So it's, oh,
It's a age-friendly.
age-friendly
principles.
design. Okay, great. Thank you. Any other comments or announcements? Hearing none, we'll go on to action items. And the first item on is item 3A, to amend the 2025 capital budget to increase funding for the project entitled Replacement of Voting Machines by $2 million, from $0 to $2 million, and to decrease the funding for the project entitled Voting Equipment by $2 million, from $2 million down to $0. And I need a motion for that, please.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, Robert. Is there a second? Thank you, Andrew. And who would like to present?
David from board elections here.
Yeah.
to-
Hey, David, come on up.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as legislator Colby just kind of alluded to quietly, the ledge did already pass this. We're kind of doing things in reverse order. But we purchased voting machines. We have 1,000 of these Express Vote XLs currently in stock. If you voted in the school district election the other day, you may have seen them. Everything went really smoothly, which is great, because otherwise coming here after that might have been a little bit more perilous. But so we need to get 175 more of them to cover early voting and the quick turnaround that would be required to election day. So this amendment right here to move $2 million from voting equipment, which would have been used for more iPads. That kind of got pushed out a year. So we're going to just reallocate that $2 million towards these voting machines, and then we have enough to cover us for early voting and election day. So that is what, what you all are seeing right now, and that's our request. So. Yes, sir.
What was the backup in Penfield?
They only had 6 poll pads. So the school district elections, we really don't run. We were more hands-on this year than usual because they were our new voting machines, and we wanted to make sure we put our best foot forward with that. So we had techs at every single school district that were strictly there to handle the machines. But the actual election is really certified and ran entirely by the school district clerks. So the backup, though, was because that school district in particular had a huge turnout, 5,000 people or so, and they only had 6 poll pads. So the slowdown wasn't at the machines themselves. I believe they had 12 voting machines. So you'd get there, and there was a line that wrapped all around the building and everything, and it was on, I think, on the news and stuff. But then you'd go past that, and then the machines were kind of empty, essentially. So that was the slowdown. They only had 6.
Because our school doesn't use voting pads. They just have you sign by your address.
Right.
I mean, a lot of the other schools did use poll pads, and they contract with NTS. Ours are knowing, but you have to have enough of them. So Greece had them; they had 10 of them or whatever, and they really had no issues. And I believe maybe Wayne County, Webster. So a lot of them do use the poll pads and had no issues. They just had too few for the turnout at Penfield.
And these are the same machines you were doing interviews for.
Yes. Yep.
Last year, the year before.
Absolutely.
And this is what you moved forward with, and now you're expanding on those.
Yes. Yep.
So if you have a big general election, is that paper going to have to be longer?
We're using 17-inch ballots across the board. It is our opinion that we'll never have to go above 17-inch ballot, but they do have the capacity. I believe they definitely have the capacity to go to 19-inch, and I believe even up to 21-inch ballots. So we could accommodate it, if we needed to.
You don't print on both sides.
No.
And has there been, are these machines being used statewide, nationally? There's been good reviews on them.
So there are good reviews on them. They are, ES&S is operational in 31 states right now. Not all the states have these exact machines, but many of them do. It wasn't necessarily our intention, but we're the first county in we're the first county in the state to roll them out, and we'll be rolling them out for the June primary. Erie is looking at them, and so are some of the counties in New York City. It's my understanding that they're very close to being finalized and being purchased in New York City. So I believe you'll start seeing more counties adopt them, but we are actually the first ones. Again, wasn't necessarily our intention, but so that's what we're getting ourselves.
Well, there's only what, 3 models approved for New York State?
Correct. 3 different vendors with 3 models approved. So the options are always limited right off the bat right there. But thankfully, we had a 50,000 turnout on Tuesday, and no real problems with the voting machines. So
they're pretty intuitive.
good first start. Yeah, I know you saw it. I saw it
Right,
today. Yeah, I think they are too. We really do. And obviously there'll always be with any new software and technology, there might be little kinks and bugs you work out, but we were pretty pleased with our first rollout of them. So that turnout the other day will basically be the same turnout we have for the June primary. So essentially we ran a primary election with them already, and it went pretty well.
Yeah, but the big difference is,
The ballot itself.
well, no, collecting the data at night has always been, for the last couple of years, been a snafu for you guys. Hopefully this is different.
Yeah, thank you for reminding me, legislator. Last year, actually, though, and I'm sure you remember, went very smoothly. So the year before that, yes, there were some issues. We were out there till late at night, but by 2 or 3 a.m., we had everything squared away. But yes, the general election last year, highest turnout we've ever had, no problems.
I know, but
no, I understand.
We
You're not
hear
wrong.
about it.
I know you do, absolutely. Yes,
What was
I
the issue
understand.
2 years ago? It was just the amount of.
Your server crashed, right?
Yeah, and the data, there was just so much data being pushed at once.
I remember that.
Yeah, so
Okay,
we just had,
yeah.
so it was delayed. I mean, it definitely was an issue, but we got it up late in the morning and got it working, so.
Yeah.
Just curious, I saw that, there were some language options on there. Is there accessibility for the blind or?
Yeah, so the nice thing so we've always had accessibility for people that are deaf, hard of hearing, the visually impaired community, people in wheelchairs. That's always been, they've always been accessible, but the machines that we had, the old machines, there was really for sure one in every poll site that was fully accessible, could be voted with the ATI, which is the audio tactical interface. Now, each one of these new machines is like that. So every single voting machine is 100% accessible, can be tilted down for people in a wheelchair, has the ATI function and capability. You can blow up the text on the screen if that's all you need. There's contrast options. So yeah, so that's the nice thing about these machines is they're more accessible than the old ones. So every single machine that you see in a poll site is fully accessible like that.
Thank you.
Yep.
Anyone else with comments, questions? Ratings?
All right.
Okay,
Thank you all very much.
hearing
Yeah.
none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you. Motion is approved. Our next item is item 3B, and that is to amend the 2025 capital budget to increase the funding for the project entitled City Place Electrical and Mechanical Improvements by $1.1 million from $2 million to $3.1 million for a total authorization of $3.1 million. And I need a motion for that, please.
Make that motion.
Thank you, Richard.
Second.
Thank you, David. And I'm assuming it's Sean.
I'm on.
Rep? Yeah.
Yep. So this is a pretty straightforward project, but it's important because it's very critical infrastructure. So you talked about servers going down. The main server for Monroe County IS server is up on the 5th floor here. I should admit that too loudly, but it's there.
Yeah.
Right. So this project is to replace the HVAC unit in that server room and some other improvements. So if you go on to the next slide, please. So City Place, as you know, houses DES, planning and development, public safety, probation, information services, and the main server is in this location. And within public safety is the MRC, which handles all the radio calls and dispatching type thing for the public safety folks. And they're on the 1st floor and the 2nd floor in that particular area. So if you go on to the next slide, the current unit right now has been installed since '97, so it's coming to the end of its useful life, about 30 years.
Mhm.
It's oversized because before, when the place was here, computer equipment was large. Computer footprint has shrunk significantly. So we're swapping out two 20-ton units, so a total of 40 tons for 3 8-tons. So we'll have 24-ton capacity, but have redundancy built into it. So that's the main effort that's going to happen right now up on the 5th floor. The next slide shows a couple other things we've got. During elections, we actually roll in a generator and put it out on Main Street, well, on Fitzhugh, plug it in outside the building, and this is what it looks like, the rat's nest on the inside. We're going to clean all that up, put new posi locks in, make a new connection into the electrical gear that we're starting to outfit, so that if there's an issue during elections or any other time, we can roll equipment in and feed the building with a generator.
Well, they're gonna move the elections thing over to the new building, right?
But the IS server though, yeah,
Oh.
but it's still on the fiber, it's still on county fiber.
Okay.
Yeah, that comes in through city place. So on the next slide, this just gives you a couple other things we're going to be doing. So the main scope of the project is to replace the HVAC equipment on the 5th floor. We've replaced already the batteries down in the basement, which is for the UPS, which provides backup power for MRC and some other critical infrastructure. We're going to upgrade the generator capacity. And at some point with additional funding, we'd actually place a physical generator here rather than rolling one in, but that's a future phase of the project. We're going to connect MRC, so probation and public safety is going to be connected to this generator connection and also the battery backup. So all their equipment will stay intact if there's a power outage. And we're also upgrading the fire suppression system to more environmentally friendly and a system that can actually have new suppressant if we need it, because the old suppressant's going to be outdated and won't be able to be available anymore. So we have received bids. It's actually gone through the ledge. We did it as a matter of importance because there's a 45-day period that the bidders have to hold their price.
Sure.
We wanted to make sure that they didn't come back and claim something with tariffs. So we went through and got the award. All that's been happening, and now we just need to get your folks' approval, finalize the funding aspect of it. So the next slide. Any questions?
Yes, so
There you go.
the generator, you said if there's a problem, you would roll in a generator and connect it. Does that mean if the primary power to the building goes out? Or you need additional power beyond the capacity that the building's already equipped with?
If the primary power of the building went out. So if the primary power went out, the UPS would supply power to MRC and to the server room. And that will give us enough time, about 45 minutes, to get a generator rolled in here. And that initially was put out on Fitzhugh Street, middle of the sidewalk. So now what we're gonna do is actually put the posi locks in the north side of the building by the parking lot, so we're not in a travel lane or anything.
And that'll be permanently installed.
The initial phase, we're just gonna have a temporary, be able to roll in a temporary one, but we are looking to get a permanent unit. But by the time you get something with the sound enclosure and the size we need, about 625 kilowatt, it's about $700,000. So we'll do that in a future phase.
So, and it won't be wasted money because the code requires now that you have a, you know, portable connection.
Right.
For all these generator jobs, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one now, but it's just, we want to make sure it's more robust and it actually covers more of the infrastructure that's in the building than what it covers right now.
You're gonna put in a manual transfer switch, something that.
Correct.
Yeah, good. Are you putting in the automatic transfer switches, for the future generator, or are you gonna hold off?
No, we'll hold off and put that in the next phase.
So the data racks and things are not being replaced, so that cooling system is, you're still doing air cooled with the Liebert units or something similar to a, you know, the cooling units on the ends, and then, right, is it?
The new 8 tons, they'll be similar to this. They'll be
Yeah.
8-ton units and pretty much in the same place. There's a computer floor in here that's not really being utilized, so we don't
Oh,
have to, but we
There's a
will,
raised floor.
yeah, it's a raised floor for the
Yeah,
computer.
Which they're
Yeah, so actually,
gonna abandon that, I take it, or?
no, we'll keep that in place.
You're gonna keep it in place?
Yeah, you can see the beginning of the data racks on the right-hand side there.
Yeah.
You know, the whole room used to be just full of computers. Now it's
Yeah.
really, a quarter of the room is really being utilized for the actual
Yeah.
servers themselves.
Right.
When you put a generator, permanently fixed generator in, would the batteries go?
No, they'd probably still be there because it's just by the
Need
time you have
drive-through.
turnover, it's better to have the redundancy.
Yeah. They may not need to be sized the same size, 45 minutes, but you
Right.
still need ride through.
Right.
Because that's DC power, so.
Yeah, and especially due to the critical nature of what's in the building.
Right.
We'd want to have that tertiary backup if necessary.
That feed the whole building?
No, just the MRC and the server room and some life safety devices. Right, but if the power went out in the building, all this would go out at that point.
Did you guys consider with this the racks that have the built-in AC units?
Right, that's where I was going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
UPS, built-in UPS?
No, just
no,
the
AC
cooling
units.
right into
It's
the
built
racks.
in.
So you have
Yeah.
data rack, cooling rack, data rack. There's all sorts of designs.
Yeah, then we'd have to mess around with all the racks. I think it's
Exactly.
just,
That's-
we're leaving the racks the way they are, and just
Right,
cooling the rest of the room.
Right.
Yeah,
right. They're just, the data racks are so, dense now that the cooling needed is like,
It's
right.
direct.
It's
Right,
right
yeah,
at the
it's
source,
pretty
yeah,
cool.
right at the
Yeah,
source of
it's
the
all one
heat,
unit.
so.
They keep,
Good. Any other questions for that? Go ahead,
or
sorry.
they keep them at 60?
No, they're more durable now. The servers are, you know,
They
Yeah.
take more heat?
yeah, and they can handle some humidity too, so it's,
just not water from the sprinkler, so that's why we put it. Yeah, chemical feed, right? Yeah.
yeah. Are you putting in humidifiers for the Liebert units or not? They haven't had no static issues. You got a computer for it
Yeah.
anyway, so it's probably grounded, so.
Yeah.
Any other? David? Sam? Okay, you want us Orlando?
Yep.
Good. Okay. Nice, thank you.
Okay, good, thank you.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Are there any opposed? Abstentions? Great, thank
Okay,
you.
thank you.
Nice job.
Thanks.
Any other business today? Let's see. Our next scheduled meeting is June 26th at 3:30, regular time, right here, the new meeting spot. So back to our old meeting spot. So if there's no other business, we'll move to adjournment. Move. Andrew, is there a second? Michael, Andrew,
Not as fast as.
all in favor?
Hey.
Thank you.
Wait for the
Good to see you.